When I close my eyes, I dream of chocolate, and I dream of M&Ms beneath my skin. The
Hmm.
milk balls shall replace my eyeballs, and then all my blood cells, and the same shall happen to the blood of man. The
Ooh.
production company for this Wonka film does not exist. They told me that it would come out in the Christmas season, and I wonder if it was to set me as the chocolate king apart from Christ as a sort of antichrist figure. All I know is that I,
Hmm.
Timothy Chalamet, now lactate chocolate milk.
Wow. But was this? I haven't
The
seen it
opening
yet.
number.
Is this like a Bloomhouse production or like one of the A24 like horror movies, the Prestige
It
horror?
all I know is we all need the chocolate. We all need a bite of Wonka.
Right. It's more of a like social commentary, kind of masking as a horror story.
You know, I think that it's sort of like a journey of self-discovery for you as an audience member, Willy Wonka as a
Oh,
character, and Timothy
yeah.
Chalamet as the puppet of the Grand Chocolate King. When
Mm.
he stares at the
Mhm.
camera for several minutes and talks about how cacao beans are a direct descendant of the original fruit bitten by Adam and Eve that got them
Oh.
cast out of the Garden of Eden, it really
Mhm.
is interesting, I think. So I would highly recommend it.
Wow. Yeah. Now you're kind of selling me on it. Looking at the promos, I thought it was just a subpar remake featuring a little dork.
Fucking remake.
Really,
You don't know the difference between a prequel and a remake. And are you calling Timothy Chalamet a dork?
I am actually. Yeah.
Are we really the people to call Timothy Chalamet, Gen Z it boy, a dork? Or is that
Hmm.
us? Is that what we're gonna do?
Since you phrase it like that, yeah, maybe I retract my statement. Um, I'll go with little dickweed. He's
All
a
right,
little.
you know
He.
what? I will.
It's a yeah a subpar remake featuring a little dickweed.
I do not agree that Timothy Chalamet is a dickweed, but I will allow you to
Okay.
say it, because that's what free speech is about.
Yeah.
Uh, and free speech also lets us host this podcast. Welcome to Underworld News Tonight. I'm Andrew Michaels, and I am joined today by the inventor of the. Fuck, I can't think of one this week. God
Come
damn
on.
it. All right, no. We're not. I'm not gonna edit this out. I'm not gonna edit this out. I have to think of
I
this
was
shit every
waiting.
week.
I was
We're
waiting
gonna do
for
it in
you
real
to.
time.
I could see the
Today.
wheels turning.
I've got it.
Okay.
Today, we are joined by the original elf on a shelf who's placed in a house with nobody in it and has thus
Mm-hmm.
lived a sort of perverted simulacra of a human
Mm-hmm.
life, knowing
Yes.
full well that there is a deep hollowness inside of him, Jason
Right.
Strong. And of course,
No.
I'm Andrew
Yeah.
Michaels.
Yeah. The permanent purgatory. That actually.
Man,
I feel like you sort of saved it. That one is
thanks.
pretty good.
Thank you. It's not easy. It's not hard either, but it's not easy.
Yeah.
Man. Anyway, I'm Andrew Michaels. That's
Yes.
Jason
Andrew
Strong, whatever
Michaels.
the fuck I just said. This is
All
Underworld
fun
News
and stuff.
Tonight.
Yeah.
We cover the weird, wacky, and wild news of the week.
Mm-hmm.
And this is coming out on Christmas. Merry Christmas, anyone. Jason, what are you going to be doing when this comes out? It's going to be Christmas morning, or maybe Christmas Eve night.
Um, I'm actually my neighbor invited me out for a meal of Indian food, and then we
Ooh.
might go see Willy the Wonka movie.
Amazing. No, I'm doing Chinese food, and then I'm trying to see that Adam Driver Ferrari movie.
What's the Adam Driver Ferrari movie?
It's Adam Driver as Enzo Ferrari.
Oh,
Yeah, the guy who he made the Ferrari cars. He was like kind of a lunatic who killed all of his test
yeah.
drivers in his insane
Oh,
cars.
mm,
Played by Adam Driver, doing an Italian accent. So we're gonna see how that is. But
yeah.
We don't do
look
movie
forward to a
reviews on this
report?
show.
No. Except,
Except for the last
with
two episodes.
the notable exception of Wonka, I guess.
The notable exception of when a new American classic comes out, then we do it. But otherwise, we do not. You know, this is our 13th episode coming out right now.
Mhm.
A non-milestone for most podcasts, including our own, other than the fact that we're coming full circle. Do you remember what the first thing we ever talked about is, Jason, on this show?
Dear Lord,
Besides
why
this
are we
podcast is called
wasting our
Underworld News
time
Tonight.
with this?
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I believe our first story, it was Bigfoot mating season.
Bigfoot mating
am I
season
wrong?
or breeding season, depending on
Breeding.
how you call it. We listened to an expert YouTube video by a guy whose name I remember. They're all the same. It's Sasquatch Theory. This one was Sasquatch Theory. Talking about how the summer is the Bigfoot breeding season. I think he meant mating because I don't think, we went over this. There's no Bigfoot husbandry happening.
Right.
Jason, if that's true.
Also, didn't we come down, wouldn't this be Sasquatch mating season?
That's right. Yes, we are.
Well, I fucked it up. So I was completely off base with what our first episode was.
Well, I'm the one who came up with the anti-Bigfoot, pro-Sasquatch stance. Well, not anti-Bigfoot, but the pro-Sasquatch stance. We did agree Sasquatch breeding season. And you know what? If that's true, we might just know how long it takes for a Bigfoot to have a baby. Now, this is a story coming to us from the Irish Star, a great website with a normal amount of pop-ups. Now, this is a picture that was taken in the woodland area of Beacon, New York. And the story, by the way, sorry, this was a story. We were trying to get better at saying who wrote our stories. So this story is not just from the Irish Star. It is also written by John O'Sullivan, audience editor. I don't know what that means, but anyway, this is a Bigfoot.
So I'm sorry. This is from an Irish news periodical, but the actual event occurred in New York, United States.
Yes, I think they have agents deeply embedded in upstate New York, and it's something that demands further study. Yeah. The Irish menace knows no bounds. So this was taken in the woodland area of Beacon, New York. Now, Jason, have you ever been to New York State at all?
I have.
Yeah, that's right. You went to Woodstock
I believe
99.
we mentioned previously. Yes. I think that was the only time, but I may have been through there, in a drug-induced haze.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm only bringing this up to say that, when I say New York for some of our audience members, this is not New York, grab a slice of pizza by the block, New York. This is,
right.
This is upstate New York. This is rural, wooded area. This is the middle of fucking nowhere. It's a big state. Right. And Beacon, according to the article, is noted to be a hotspot for such sightings. Because of this, there is a Facebook page dedicated to alleged Sasquatch encounters in the area, which we will be following. And it was on this page where the pictures of the supposed Bigfoot were posted. Now, what's worth noting is that this isn't just a Bigfoot. This has what appears to be, and you have to look very closely. We're going to share this picture. Actually, Jason, I'll show you the picture now.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, right here. So I'm going to zoom in. Are you seeing it?
No, actually.
Oh, I zoomed in too much.
That's weird. Okay, wait.
Well, yeah, I zoomed in too much. Oh, you can't see the share at all?
I can see it now. Yeah. I think it takes a moment to connect, maybe.
So you're seeing... All right. Well... All right, now, Jason, I just zoomed in on the... alleged Bigfoot.
Right.
You can see it here. It's walking. I wish that the screen would stop moving. I'm going to start this part over to...
No. And this is actually this is a really clear, in focus, close range photo. like wherever this camera was, Bigfoot couldn't have been more than, excuse me, Sasquatch couldn't have been more than 15, 20 feet away. Like this
No,
is a
100%.
easily the best. Yeah. The best, Bigfoot, Sasquatch photo, or possibly person in a hairy suit, photo I've ever seen.
No, exactly. And I've just
Yeah.
moved it a bit up so you could really get a good look at it. So we've
Right.
got the
Yeah.
Sasquatch over
Yeah.
here, and then you have what
Traipsing
looks
through a
like
forest.
another Sasquatch gripping the back. So, I mean, if this is the case, then, we started the show about 2 months ago. So that would imply a 2-month Bigfoot or
Okay.
Sasquatch gestational period.
Hmm.
According to one person on the Facebook post, they're saying that this was a mama with a newborn and that they washed them off in a nearby creek after birth.
Okay.
But people are saying that it definitely looks like a Sasquatch with a baby clinging to its back. They're using the term Bigfoot. Another person wrote that is a baby Bigfoot on its back. So I mean, this is a story that was coming out from New York. I just thought it was interesting because we talked about, obviously we talked about the Sasquatch mating season on the first episode. I hope you got out of it unscathed, Jason.
Yeah. No, I'm fine. Yeah. The preparation H helps a lot.
No, I just think,
Yeah.
if it's if
So
you
you
believe
think
it,
that
then
this
it's
is
there.
like the fruit, the fruits of the mating season?
I think that this is very reliable. It has to be the fruits of the mating season. And Jason, I know what you're gonna ask me. Your fucking sheep skeptic mind. Why did they have a baby so fast? Is that what you're thinking?
It was actually, amongst other things, but yeah, 2 months seems like for something larger, generally larger than a human. That seems like an incredibly short period of time.
I think the thing that you need to keep in mind is the sheer potency. Sorry, I don't mean to be crass here, but the sheer potency of Sasquatch cum.
You're right. That was nowhere near my mind.
They're ready to go.
Yeah. Well, and it's not even that it only took 2 months to like gestate Bigfoot fetus, but if this photo's accurate, the infant Sasquatch has developed sufficiently that it can independently cling to the back of the Sasquatch. Like it's not being, it's not carried like a newborn. It's like independently hanging from the fur.
You are assigning human biology. One of the Facebook commenters said that that's a newborn. It's being washed off in the creek. Haven't you ever heard of Sasquatch baptism? Sasquatch Catholicism? Any of this stuff? Is that all nothing to you?
No, it actually is pretty. Are all Sasquatches Catholic? Like is like what?
The ones that don't want to go to hell.
Okay, it's not regional. Like since this one's in upstate New York, tends to be Catholic. If it was in, I don't know, upstate. If it was in like rural Missouri, it might be Protestant.
There is no Protestant, because how's a Sasquatch going to be impressed by fucking snake handling?
Well, I think Protestantism is a little more than snake handling, but
since you bring it up, can you give me a bit of a rundown of the Protestant Revolution, starting with Martin Luther and the however many theses?
Yeah. So there was in the 1500s Germany, there was a guy named Martin Luther, and he nailed what was it, 147 theses?
Sounds right to me.
And then he went on to be named after civil rights icon Martin Luther King.
That makes sense.
Who completely solved racism.
Good for him.
Yeah, and now here we are today. No, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I would think though that if anyone, any intelligent being would be the most impressed with snake handling, I have to feel like it would be a Sasquatch.
Not at all. A snake, a snake can't. Sasquatch and snakes probably already have an understanding.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, and their response would probably be, "Why don't do that?"
Well, I mean that's my response, but yeah, I don't know. Um, yeah, no, that's interesting. So the contention is that so there's Bigfoot mating season back in, excuse me, Sasquatch mating season.
Sasquatch mating season is in October.
Really painted myself into a corner. Sasquatch mating season in October. Here it is, late December, and there is a photographic evidence of a infant Sasquatch clinging to his mother's back. So, in the span of 2 months, the Sasquatch got knocked up, carried to term, and the infant Sasquatch developed the muscular strength and physical skills, motor skills to be able to independently cling to the back of the Sasquatch parent.
You know what I have to say about that?
That's the contention.
Yes, you know what I have to say about that?
I can't wait to hear it.
This is why abstinence is the answer.
No, you're absolutely right. Do you think maybe we need to have do you think we need to like initiate some kind of I don't know, government programs that distribute birth control to the Sasquatch populations in our country?
I think we need to teach them, condoms break. Condoms break, Jason. Birth control pills, sometimes they're actually nicotine gum. I think. What you gotta do is just not have sex.
Yeah.
Take it from me, a podcast host.
Right. I know all about not having sex. Damn it. I lost my train of thought. It probably wasn't important.
Everything you have to say is important. And you know what else is important? It's something that I should say now before we get to our next story, which you're going to present. We have merch coming out very, very soon. And you guys, if you're interested, can not only buy it at underworldnewstonight.com and stay tuned for when it's up. We'll also let you know on social media. You can also get yourselves a free hat. All you have to do is share this show on social media with a link to the show on your listening platform of choice. Tag us and email the screenshot to underworldnewstonight@gmail.com. Once again, that is underworldnewstonight@gmail.com. We'll put you into a raffle and, equal chance for everybody. Whoever wins gets a free hat. And either way, check out the merch. There's a lot of great designs by Jason.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was a lot of fun. Yeah. Go ahead and share, and you have a chance to win a Underworld News Tonight. What, bowler hat? Is that where we landed?
Did we say? I thought we said like a snapback.
Oh, okay.
You know what? Actually, you know what I'll say. I could put the design on whatever. No, I could put the design on whatever. So I think I could do a bowler hat, a bucket hat, a snapback, and a beanie, or like the 3 broad categories, and like all the different types of those various hats. So what you guys should do is in the comments on, especially if you're listening on Spotify, let us know and reply to this episode. What type of hat do you most want from us? And we'll take that into account.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll take it into account.
Yeah.
We'll consider it.
We'll consider it. We'll consider what our potential customers might want.
Right.
But you know what? The fucking podcast host is always right. That's why he's running a business.
That's right.
That makes no money.
Right. We're entrepreneurs. Part of that grind set. Get up every morning. Yeah. Yes.
Grinding down our time and
souls
resources.
as we scour the internet for weird news stories and come across like some of the most horrific shit. I'm a shell of who I used to be before I started this. I had dreams, god damn it.
He's only 19.
Right. Yeah. Now I was born in 74, but then cryogenically frozen.
It was part of the experimental research to make Dippin' Dots.
That's right. Exactly. Right. And then once they finally were able to use the data they received from my cryogenically frozen body to actually realize their dream of creating Dippin' Dots, the ice cream of the future, they went ahead and thawed me out. Yeah, I came to in a mall food court, 19-year-old naked, screaming and confused outside of a Sbarro.
Well, we've all been there.
Yes, a scene I would reenact through chemicals numerous times since then. Oh
man.
All right. Yeah, I know. Thanks for that. That's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool photo. Yeah, interesting. Our next story comes to us from unilad.com.
Oh boy.
Yeah, unilad.com. This is out of the UK.
I would assume so. If somebody calls you a lad in the United States, they're either trying to convert you to Mormonism or do something I shouldn't say on the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, and it also says it's time stamped in GMT. So,
oh man,
that's what Greenwich Mean Time.
Well,
so the story.
Time.
So once again, as in our previous story, Europe scoops us here in the United States by covering an event that happened in the United States.
That definitively happened.
Yes. Definitively. By definition, it happened. I'm going to, excuse me. The headline of the article on, again, Unilad, janitor captures terrifying footage of, quote, ghosts at high school that was built over graveyard.
Oh, man. You know, I'm just going to say, people talk about building things over graveyards all the time. What do you do with the graves?
Well, we'll get to that. We'll leave that kind of.
Is it going to make me sad?
Probably, but I feel like most of these stories ultimately make us sad. But if I may,
now we have to speak of death.
Right, that's true. Yeah, we're going full circle here. How wise for this holiday season.
Exactly.
You know, yeah.
Isn't that what Christmas is all about?
Yeah, the joy of Sasquatch birth, and yeah, to what happens after the curtains close, as they will on all of us. I'm going to so this janitor, he took a brief video. Andrew, I'm going to invite you here to watch it with me.
I might be too scared.
That's entirely possible. And if you would, for the benefit of, I guess, everyone, since this is a podcast format, I would invite you to narrate as far as like what you see.
All right, I certainly will. I see my co-host Jason hitting screen share.
Whoa.
I see an advertisement for Adobe Acrobat.
You
can also see all this on our YouTube.
There is a good, there's an advertisement.
I was in here cleaning up after some students had thrown a party, but What's been freaking me out is this one right here.
All right, he's pointing at a red
no matter where I'm at
balloon.
in the
He's in a room with a
classroom
bunch of
or
balloons.
What I decide to do, it just follows me. And
It's like this single red
thing
balloon in a
is
dark
still
corner of the
going.
room.
I got you on camera now, so let's just see?
The ghost
That
doesn't
right
care
there.
if it's on camera.
Well, it visibly moved too. It visibly like moved towards the janitor.
Yeah, that's true. It is starting to move a bit. It seems a bit subtle while the camera's facing it, at least.
Right. It becomes more obvious.
Yeah, but you can definitely tell it's approaching.
Yeah, and the janitor's leaving the classroom. Again,
Yeah, he's leaving.
The students had a party. There's a lot of balloons, sort of helium-filled balloons, sort of lazily
Yeah,
floating.
but they're mostly in winter. Oh, shit. No, it's going through the door. Oh, no.
Yeah, it's following him into the hall.
Oh, shit. You know, school janitors do make a lot of money, so I will say your job is still worth this. Man, do not pop that fucking balloon. That's the thing you don't want to do.
It just follows me no matter what.
Now watch the doors at the end. End of the hall.
Ooh.
All right.
No, I can't.
Did you catch it?
No, I didn't see it. Oh,
So,
it just fell over, though, it looks like?
No. So, let me...
Can you rewind to it?
I can. After another ad. Sorry, I'm not paying for any of it.
Yeah, you know, papers can be really
is-
difficult, guys.
The
You
emergency
know how
Whoa,
all
what
of our
is...
listeners have
No,
all
this is not...
this is...
No, this is
Rest.
inappropriate. I'm going to
the
close
scariest
this.
thing of all.
Yeah. Almost porn.
This was this was also on Unilad.
Oh,
yeah, I guess just
no,
describe it.
Actually, was my independent search. That was a different tab. Pay no attention. All right, here we'll. I'll skip to the end. You can cut this out or whatever if you want, but
See how funny it is.
yeah, all right, you're gonna have to sit through another ad.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say to any ghost listening, don't fuck with the janitor. He's he's doing his job. Don't you want a clean place to haunt? Like, leave him alone.
Right. Yeah.
Go after
But
the
yeah, it starts
superintendent. He deserves it.
It starts in a classroom. Looks like what your typical sort of mid-century municipal building.
It looks like
construction-
every fucking elementary school that you've ever been in, every elementary school class you've ever been in. Like, yeah.
Right. There was clearly some sort of party. It was said there's like streamers on the floor, balloons, hovering around.
Well, I mean, there's this whole, I think part of why it's so scary, too.
Around. Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
I
because
cut out for a second.
one. Because it's just the one balloon. All right.
Yes.
I'm going to skip ahead here. So he's in the hall. Now keep your eye on those doors at the end of the hall.
All right, eyes on the doors.
Yeah, keep your eyes on the doors at the end of the hallway as the balloon, as he pans across the balloon.
It just follows me no matter what. Ooh. No, I can't.
Yeah. No, a little shadow just swipes across.
Right. So we're following he's following the balloon, and out into the hallway. The balloon follows him, following on the camera. Yeah, he goes out into the hallway, takes a few steps backwards. The balloon follows him, and while he has the balloon in frame, at the end of the hallway, there's a pair of double doors, and you can see a shadow dart very quickly past.
No, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
I think part of what's so scary about it too, what I was going to say before, is that I feel like we all either did this or know people who did this or talked about doing this of like breaking into our schools during the summer when they were closed, right? Like as kids, like not as adults. It's a fucking weird thing. If you are a 40-year-old man considering breaking into your old school in the summer, talk to a doctor.
Right.
But when you're 13, that's like 11 to 13, it's like prime ages to do this shit. And I think there's something about a space like a school that's meant to be a place where a lot of people exist but don't like a simulacra of where people would actually want to be. A school, an office, a motel,
Right.
like any of these spaces. I mean, there's this whole obsession on the internet with liminal spaces that deals with a lot of that. I think it's Super Eye Patch Wolf has a really good video about this. That talks a lot about like liminal horror and like why people are obsessed with it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, so you said that the school was built on top of a graveyard, though. How'd that happen?
Yeah. So the school, this is King's School in Tampa, Florida. I don't think I mentioned that before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, King's High School, Tampa, Florida. Built in the 1960s. At some point, it was determined after the school was built by, I think, by like geologists doing research for whatever reason on, you know, the property lines, discovered that there was an or was suspected that it was built on top of an old cemetery that was in an African American community.
Oh,
And
that's not good.
and we say old, the cemetery it says was from the 40s or 50s.
That's not old. That's
come on.
decidedly new. That's I mean that's
Right.
older.
That's 10 years, 10 or 20 years like before the school was built. Like this isn't
If somebody, it's
this
not
isn't something
old.
that
If
like
somebody,
nobody
yeah.
knew.
No, that's insane. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
I will still say though, once again, like I get that is fucked up, but it's not the janitor's fault. I guess that's kind of what I
no.
do come back to.
No,
I think leave the janitor alone.
Oh, as far as like the ghosts.
Yeah, go after the zoning board.
Yeah. Right. No, you're absolutely right. Yeah. But in 2019, 145 coffins were found buried beneath the school. And there's probably
145.
yes, and there's probably more. Again, I said a geologist was the one that made this discovery. They used some sort of sonar imaging, and they found
They said
hundreds.
they said
like,
I'm an expert
void.
on rocks, but I'm looking at this,
Right.
and that is a coffin.
Right. Yeah. So
Jeez.
I don't know. Yeah. I invite people to make up their own mind. I don't know. You know, not to be the skeptic, but obviously there's a lot of ways that someone can rig moving a balloon for the purposes of a video. But
You think
it
someone
is
would
super
fake a
creepy.
ghost on the internet?
I know, as hard as it is to believe. No, it is super creepy. Have you ever happened to have like a job where you were by yourself in a largish building?
Not, never like fully. I'd had jobs where I was like close to it, where there were like one or two people left, but I was
I would
never.
count that. Yeah, no, I would count that.
Yeah, so I mean, I worked at a summer camp
Mhm.
in Wisconsin for a summer, and I worked in the
Mhm.
kitchen, and I would be there towards the end of it. So I would leave with like a couple of other people. But the atmosphere
Mhm.
there, I mean, it was the kitchen and dining hall, and it was all sort of new, and the atmosphere there was
Yeah.
such that we weren't really creeped out by it, even though it was
Mm.
middle of the woods, Wisconsin. What was more creepy though is at our old call center job, after you left, like right in between COVID starting and me starting to work from home, gradually people
Right.
were starting to work from home, and I was on the much later end of that.
Right.
So
Right.
for
Mhm.
like a couple of weeks, I would go in, and yeah, it would pretty much just be me there. And there was
Yeah.
definitely a creepiness to it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I've worked more than my fair share of like overnight jobs, of various roles in enormous buildings where I was either alone or, as you say, a handful of people, like effectively alone.
Yeah.
And that's just inherently creepy. Like you said, you know, when you're 13 years old, you imagine like spending the night in your school. And I shared that experience that feeling myself, but I think the creepiness is sort of part of it, right? Like,
Oh yeah. No,
like
I
a
mean,
place, as you say, that's typically full of people is completely devoid of people. and it just feels really like weird and foreign.
I mean, it sets into account the ways that like this is not actually the place for you. Like this is the place. Like I think part of what's scary about it is that a school is a place for you as part of a unit of a student body, or a part of a unit of a faculty. An office is a place for you as part of a unit of a workforce. A motel is a place for you as part of the unit of of even somebody staying at the motel, of whatever the fuck that's called, guest. But it throws into focus when you're the only person there that you're actually not meant to be there, and the only way to be there is to sublimate a part of yourself. So what happens, supernaturally and sort of psychologically, when you're there totally solo?
Yeah.
When you are what's out of place. It is very spooky. And whether or not it's real, this guy made something good and scary and entertaining that threw into account, something about history that we all should know. So maybe that is real. Yeah, so Christmas time. Here's a segue for you, Jason. You ever watch the Yule Log channel?
I have, actually. Like on YouTube?
YouTube, it's on TVs. It used to, it used to be. I think it's on TVs with cable, right?
I think you're right. Watch is a generous term, but have had on.
I don't understand it. I don't understand why you'd want to pretend there was a fucking Yule log or a window that there's not.
Well, in my personal case,
pretending there's a window there's not.
In my personal case, it's because my house doesn't have a fireplace, and last time I had a Yule log, the fire department was unhappy.
No, I understand that, but why do you want to pretend there's a Yule log?
Yeah, I don't know. It kind of sets the mood, I guess.
Well, you know what? In terms of setting the mood, you got to be careful, because those Yule logs can go snap, especially around Christmas time. This is from a real newspaper, The Guardian, written by Linda Geddes, the science correspondent. That's right, we're talking some real science here. Risk of penile fractures rises at Christmas, doctors find. They suspect that euphoria and the intimacy of the season may be behind the spike in cases. That's right, Bigfoot breeding season is over, but we are not out of the woods yet.
Right.
It may be the season of loving and giving, they write, but doctors have warned against embracing this spirit too enthusiastically, at least where sexual relations are concerned. Like we said, abstinence. They have discovered that the Christmas period is associated with a significantly increased risk of penile fractures. A medical emergency. Can you guess what a penile fracture is, Jason? They do explain it.
I can guess. I mean, it sounds extraordinarily unpleasant, but I guess while your junk is erect, something somehow you damage it.
Medical emergency,
so in which it can't stay erect. Yeah.
Yeah. The erection producing regions of the penis snap, usually as a result of forceful bending during overenthusiastic sexual intercourse. This injury, and this is a quote from Dr. Nikolaus Purgades, a urologist at the Ludwig Maximilian University of Munich. So that guy saw some weird dicks. This injury tends to occur during and this is his quote, this is an academic's quote, during wild sex, particularly in positions where you are not in direct eye contact with the partner, such as the reverse cowgirl. Do they call it that in Germany? How do they know what a cowgirl is?
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
Now, Jason,
so much about this is wild. First of all, I didn't know. I mean, I knew, like, okay, so if you're 12 years old, you call it a boner, but there's no bone, right? Like it's like a spongy.
Jason, no, there's not a penis. You don't have a penis bone. Yes, it's a vein.
Right. But it becomes engorged with blood, which is what makes it stiff. So when you're saying like a like breaking it. It's just,
Well,
it's like, sorry, what?
I have more information for you on that. The
Oh,
fractures
I'm sorry.
are
Yeah,
often
I'm getting ahead. Fractures. Yeah,
yeah,
fracture it. Yeah, please.
fractures are often heralded by an audible crack, followed by severe pain, rapid loss of
Mm-hmm.
erection, and severe swelling and bruising. Dr. Pergides says that when patients present to the doctor their penis, like this needs to be read in a German accent. When patients present to their doctor their penis, often looks like an eggplant.
Oh no. I don't like anything about this. An audible snap.
An audible crack, I think they said. Did they say crack or snap?
Oh.
Audible crack.
I don't know.
Which is not
Crack.
as bad as a snap. Suspecting that the intimacy and euphoria of the festive season might be a risk factor for this type of injury, Pergides and his colleagues examined hospital data for 3,421 men who sustained penile fractures in Germany between 2005 and 2021. And I have to say, if I broke my dick 18 years ago, I don't want to fucking hear about it anymore.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's
Study.
I mean, yeah. Continue, please. I'm riveted.
Pergides says that if every day was like Christmas, what do you think the world would be like if every day was like Christmas, Jason? What if I say what every day was like? If every day was like Christmas, what does that bring to mind for you?
A lot of shitty music. The veneer of like peace and humanity, but like a seething rage underneath of it.
You know, the
And
season's gonna stop.
apparently, yeah, I was gonna say, apparently, if this article is to be believed, rampant quote weird sex.
If every day was like Christmas, according to Pergides, 43% more penile fractures would have occurred in Germany from 2005 on. 43%.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's something else fascinating. New Year's Eve, no association with an increased incidence of penis injuries. It is Christmas only. At least in Germany. All the data's from Germany.
Sure. I guess that makes sense a little bit. Like, I usually get mildly drunk on Christmas, and New Year's Eve I'm usually pretty like wasted.
I'm not
So
trying. Yeah,
I don't know if I would be able to perform on New Year's Eve. Like, as much as my heart would be in it, I think that my blood alcohol level at the time would prevent me from engaging in those kind of activities.
Now, the other thing, I think that's true. I also think, yeah, not the time to try something weird. You know, that it's because New Year's Eve you're saying I'll try something weird next year, but you're not doing it that night.
I guess no, you're right.
Most penile fractures.
No, go on.
Sorry, most penile fractures occur in unconventional scenarios, such as during extramarital affairs or when sex is performed in unusual locations. And that such scenarios are more likely when men were approaching midlife. Sadly, Pergides does not give an example of what unusual locations he means, but I'm assuming he means cars. So
in midlife?
In midlife, yeah, it's not a young man's wound, Jason.
Right, but I definitely had sex in cars much more often than I as a teenager.
Oh, so maybe it's not cars.
Than I did.
What's the weird location you have sex in now?
Man, I don't know. Should it? Probably the weirdest in the last.
Keep in mind, it is Jesus' birthday.
Right. Well, this wasn't during Christmas.
Okay.
But I had sex in a skate park shower. Standing up.
That's actually fucking disgusting. That is like genuinely really gross. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
Anyway, if it does
The
happen,
facility was pretty new. Yeah, it was pretty clean, but yeah.
well, okay. I don't know what to do with that information. I don't know why I asked. If it does happen,
I don't know why you asked either.
now, Jason, you are much more at risk
Yeah.
of breaking your dick than me. It's
Right,
an old
apparently
man's
so.
injury. If it does happen,
Yeah.
I know you're thinking, I'm just going to bed rest this one, but you should present it to your doctor as an absolute emergency, because otherwise you're going to suffer some long-term complications, which medically are known as eggplant dick.
No, I'm glad you told me that, because my inclination, were I to suffer this type of injury, given my like wilderness first aid skills, is to just improvise a splint. Wrap it up, take some Aleve, wash down with beer for a week or two, and
That's
then after
true.
that, yeah.
Well,
After that,
I think you could treat it with Bud
maybe
Light.
think about. Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
No, this is it's not hard to believe. It's what's weird is that it's Christmas. Christmas is the holiday, and not, say, like Valentine's Day. Something you associate more with fucking. I don't know. What are your
Day.
Give me a rundown of like top 3 fucking holidays.
So I guess I will give you a rundown of top 3 fucking holidays, but first I'm going to say the reason for that, I think, is that Valentine's Day you're having romantic sex. No one's breaking their dick during romantic sex. Reverse cowgirl is not a Valentine's Day position, and that's the dick breaking position.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And it's also more likely in extramarital affairs. You're probably not doing that on Valentine's Day either. Or at least you definitely shouldn't. Top 3 fucking holidays. I'm going to say number 1, obviously, is going to be President's Day.
Of course.
Number 2, I'm going to say Labor Day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Number 3, let's go ahead and say Trinidad and Heritage Day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree with those. I would maybe put Arbor Day in there. That seems like kind of
that's for the environment. That's for the environment,
Gotcha.
Jason. You sick fuck.
Oh, that's the day you fuck a tree.
Exactly. What do you think the squirrels made those holes for?
But what also struck me as you were reading this, or relating this article, the repeated use of euphoria, right? Like, because of the holiday and people's euphoria. I'm wondering, that has to be like a weird German translation, right? Like, would you
Well, it's a British paper.
I don't know.
Like, it's a British newspaper,
Right.
and the British Academy of Physicians. I don't know. I think it's fair to say. I think they're using it like a bit dramatically, but I think people are in better spirits during, like, people who like Christmas are in very good spirits during the Christmas season. I think it's fair to call that a type of euphoria. I often feel a type of euphoria around Passover. I think it's fair to say that, right? Like,
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, it just seemed like since
it's weird because
the word euphoria came up numerous times.
Yeah.
Like, it came up once. Yeah. Okay. It came up
it does
like
seem
several
a bit
times.
of a writer like putting that word down and being like, this is good.
Right. Like, I think of like something, when I hear euphoria, I think of something like drug induced, or just so wondrous, and a state of like such, I don't know, general happiness. Like, it just, the word euphoria.
You mean the
seems
way
to
people feel
overflow.
Listening to us every week?
Yeah, right. Euphoria, like, it strikes me as like a near orgasmic, like, it's something you feel a handful of times in your life, not something.
Well, I would
every
hope that.
single holiday season, I do not feel euphoria.
Well, it's
I
an
don't know if I've
increased
ever
rate
felt.
of euphoria in the general population, and the people whose
Mhm.
euphoria is increasing are probably disproportionately represented
Mhm.
in dick break cases.
Right. Right. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and also the like crack. Like, ugh.
Well, yeah, it's not good.
No.
You know, one time
I
when I was in college, I got a
Mhm.
mosquito bite on my dick from sleeping naked in the
Mhm.
summer with the window open. I
Sure.
thought I had dick cancer, so I really thought this is true. I thought I was going to lose my dick for like 2 days my senior year of
Oh,
college, and then it turned out it was a mosquito bite, but it was a hard 2 days.
I'm sure. Yeah, I can't imagine. Um, I have actually had to pull a tick off my testicles
Man,
when I was camping, and yeah, um, you know, hiking through tall grass in the Midwest. Got to the campsite, changing into my sleepwear. Yeah, that was an experience. I'll say that much. Uh, I've never broken my dick
that's good.
in the terms that you're describing. Um, yeah, yeah, I don't know. Certainly a cautionary tale, I guess. So does it give recommendations as far as like what type of sex you should be having
I think the
to
not
celebrate
wild
Christmas?
kind.
Okay,
I think that I think
which would be like what you're in separate rooms or
yeah, I think that maybe instead of having sex, why don't you try going to church? It's about the birth of Christ, people.
oh, that's true. Yeah, and Christ's mother Mary famously did not have sex.
Yeah, what a fucking loser.
Right? No, thanks. That was fascinating and gross, and I will take that to heart. And any I will pledge right now that this holiday season I will um only if any position warrants sorry. I
Go on.
I will only engage in regular cowgirl sex.
That's good.
Yeah.
The moment you hear yeehaw, pull it out of there.
Right. That's always kind of been my motto.
If your girl calls you partner, you're at risk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, words to live by. All right. Yeah. Well, thank you for that. Moving on, our final story this week um, actually has made the rounds. I'm almost certain that everyone has heard this.
I hope
Uh,
so.
it's come up everywhere. But in the spirit of journalistic integrity,
Henry Kissinger died.
that was yeah.
That's the final
Well,
story, right?
that I don't think it was this. Was it this? No, it wasn't this past week.
It was a month ago, but get around to it. We
Right.
got around to it.
So no, so for the real story, to get to the truth here, I went to the source, and I'm going to kind of break my typical pattern, of reading the headline first and then getting to the story. I'm going to explain it a little and then circle back around to the headline. This is from the Jet Propulsion NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, California.
All right.
NASA has been recently working on deep space optical communications with the idea that if we're going to get people, to Mars, anything beyond that, like we need a faster way to communicate.
Of course.
So they back in October they sent out the Psyche probe, and it was equipped with what they called, and this is amazing, the flight laser transceiver,
That
which
sounds cool
sounds
as
like
fuck.
some, yeah, it sounds like some Doctor Who bullshit. Like, you know, we need to calibrate the ion condenser or whatever. Like doesn't mean anything. But yeah, so again, the NASA Psyche mission launched in October, and last week sent back sent a message from almost 19 million miles away.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm. The signal, it's a ultra high definition. It's the signal, thanks to this I already forgot the bullshit name. The laser god damn it.
Oh,
Flight
that's your
laser
story.
transceiver. Yeah, I know. Thanks to the flight laser transceiver, yeah, it was able to send a message 10 to 100 times faster than the current radio systems used today. It's even faster than like our cell phone usage.
Oh wow.
Like our cell phone signals. Yeah, from
I should hope it is.
19
I haven't
million
been
miles
mobile.
away. Yeah. The signal hit the Palomar telescope outside of San Francisco, and then was relayed to the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. The video. Now I'll circle back to the headline.
Mm-hmm.
Orange tabby cat named Taters steals the show in first video sent by laser from deep space.
Oh wow.
So before NASA shot off the Psyche probe, they uploaded 15 seconds of a video of Taters. Taters is a 3-year-old tabby cat. A 15-second video of Taters chasing like a laser pointer,
mm-hmm.
and it is set to synthwave music, which is kind of what you would hope.
Oh yeah,
NASA
for
video,
space,
right?
yeah.
Like,
you don't want them playing fucking John Denver.
Right. Yeah, synthwave just feels like a natural fit. The video they overlaid a bunch
if NASA plays an acoustic guitar, you'd better be about to die in that ship.
Right. Yeah. No, that doesn't. Yeah. Or if it was like Major Tom. Or no, that's something. Space Oddity.
Yeah.
That you probably.
That's also. They play that song. How did things end for Major Tom?
By my recollection, not great.
Yeah, he fucking dies.
Didn't he he spun out.
Yeah.
Into space and was lost forever. But yeah, no. The video that was beamed back was of Taters, 3-year-old tabby chasing a laser to some synthwave music. There's kind of a video gamey HUD, heads up display overlaid over the video that shows things like the trajectory of the probe, the cat's heart rate, just sort of like meaningless bullshitty data. But yeah, so Taters the cat joins the pantheon of animals who've contributed to the United States space program.
Well, I think that this was an easier contribution than some of the others had.
Very much so. Yes, very much so. Taters did not, in fact, have to leave the atmosphere.
And die horribly.
Apparently did not have to leave the living room. Whereas, yes, we have been... this story, I was curious, so I looked up other animals in space, and we've sent basically anything smaller than us. We haven't sent a silverback gorilla, but we've sent dogs, cats, monkeys, insects. I think the world record currently of like the furthest distance a living being got from Earth and came back is held by two tortoises that were launched from Russia and made like a huge route around the moon, and
they
then came
lived?
back and landed safely. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
they were still alive, and I think they were the furthest living creatures from Earth. Yeah, ever.
Jeez. Well, I'm just gonna say it. I don't understand what we're trying to prove in a lot of these cases. Sure, the tortoises, you managed to do a route, but sometimes, it's like, what happens if I send a dog to space? Oh, they fucking die. Thanks for
Right.
the help, science. But I'm glad that
Right.
Taters didn't have to do that. I just don't think, I think if we're gonna put the Mount Rushmore of animals and their contributions to space,
It should be the ones who gave their lives.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's all I'm saying.
Right. Although, not to be cynical, but is that how it works? Like, when you think of astronauts, I think of like John Glenn, and
Well,
I think
yeah,
of
guess
like
that's
the
true.
ones who made it and came back. I don't think of the ones that.
Well, alright, but Taters also didn't fucking go anywhere, so either way.
Well, no.
I like Taters. I am
didn't-
pro Taters. I just think we
I
need
am
to be
pro Taters
realistic
as well.
about what Taters, what Taters'
has
contributions are.
contributed. Right. Taters didn't make much of a sacrifice.
It's like, yeah, a different perspective. It's like Sully, was he a hero? Sure, unless you're a fucking bird.
No, you're absolutely right. So if you're an animal, say a guinea pig that was selected because you certainly couldn't volunteer in like the 60s, 70s, or 80s, your odds of coming back alive were pretty slim. But as through the 90s on, there are we have been able to recover a fair amount of the animal. And when I say we, I mean humanity in general. We have been able to recover a significant portion of the animals that we sent into space. So in China, there are dogs that have been to space numerous times because they go up and come back and then send them back up. Same with Russia. Yeah, it's
crazy.
Yeah. No, I feel like our space program, as our humanity space program, owes a great debt to animals who are willing to.
Wow.
Well, they weren't willing; they were never asked, but were sacrificed to advance our knowledge. And I'm glad Taters was able to contribute and not have to leave their living room.
And we thank them for their service. And do you know who else we thank for their service? All of the wonderful listeners of Underworld News Tonight. Thank you guys so much for listening. Like I said, you guys can answer the Spotify question about what type of merch we should have. If you like the show, also share it around. And remember, you could get a free hat by doing so. We gave some instructions earlier. They'll also be on our social medias. Share it. Make sure you have a link to the show. Tag us and email that to us at underworldnewstonight@gmail.com. And we will enter you in a raffle to get a free hat. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Stay tuned for that merch otherwise. And Jason, anything else we should tell them?
No, happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
That's right. Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Remember, at the end of the day, it is all phantom time right now. So,
right.
Take as that as you will. Go out there and stuff some stockings till your dick breaks.
That's, yeah. Please don't do that.